Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to World at War Comics podcast. My next special guest is Mr. Bruno Catarino. Bruno, thank you so much for joining the show. It's a pleasure meeting you. I got a little bit of a sneak peek of what you got going on Kickstarter. A lot of fun, a lot of twists to that story. By the way, toward the end, I had a blast. But before we jump into Prey, which is your title on Kickstarter right now, would love to first know how you're doing. Everything going well for you this week?
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me. Yeah, everything going good. I actually tried to have some rest
Yeah.
this week because it's been an intense Kickstarter. So yeah, and numbers keep going up slowly, so that's always good. So yeah.
Great, great. And then we'd love to learn just a little bit more about you, Bruno. I mean, why comic books? Did you grow up around comic books? And then where did this passion for storytelling start in your life? Was it at a young age? And was there someone in your life that inspired you to tell stories?
Uh, yeah, it's a weird one because I did like comic books as a child. I mainly Spider-Man and X-Men were the ones that were available in Portugal, where I'm from. So those were kind of the ones that I tend to read the most, and Disney, like
Yeah.
Donald Duck, Mickey, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was a big fan of comics for a few years, and then I kind of started pulling away from comics in the 2000s, and not really doing much in terms of storytelling for a while. But when I moved to London, I kind of started writing all these stories that I kind of had. They were always going through my head, and I kind of started writing them as films, not as comics. I even made some short films, so wrote a few feature screenplays as well. So nothing that got made other than the short films I made. And I don't know, more recently, I kind of found out my passion for comics again. And mainly I read indie comics and that sort of stuff. Not so much the big two anymore, although occasionally, but yeah. And I thought, well, this is a great medium to tell some of those stories that I started writing as screenplays or TV plays. And yeah, it's hard to get them done. At best, you make a short film, you spend a lot of money, nobody wants it. And I thought, well, with comics, at least you have a product and you have more freedom, no gatekeepers. So yeah, I'm rumbling a bit, but it's kind of that. It's like it
Yeah.
went through different stages and it finally kind of ended in comics. And I really feel creatively fulfilled now that I'm working in comics. So that's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, is Prey your first go at a comic book, or have you done some comic stuff before?
So I started with a sci-fi anthology project called Cinematic Figments, which is not out yet. It
Okay.
kept being dragged and dragged, and uh, it's an anthology. You have different artists working; they work at different speeds, which is it's great,
Yeah.
it's fine. But uh, yeah, and also started. Let's just say that I was spending more money than I was comfortable with,
Yeah.
and it got to the point where it's the project where it can't really fail, and I felt like it was better to just do something a bit smaller first. So, make all the mistakes with something smaller. So I had a screenplay that I wrote a while ago that was Prey. And I thought, well, I never managed to make this as a short film. Let me write a comic with this story. And yeah, that's how Prey came up. And yeah, it's the first one.
That's so excellent. Well, Bruno, let's pull up this Kickstarter and check it out. The good news is you've hit your goal. There's about 29 hours to go, so we want to make sure that people see this. It's an awesome story. I would think it's more on the horror side of things. I don't know if you would agree with that from a genre standpoint. Definitely a little bit of a shock toward the end when you're reading
Mhm.
this, which is always really good in any kind of storytelling. I was a little surprised at the end because I was thinking one thing through the whoole thing, and then at the end I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. So we don't want to give anything away. We want people to go to the Kickstarter and pick it up. But what a wonderful read. Give me a second. I'm just going to pull it up real quick, and let's kind of just walk through it, and you could kind of share what fans will be getting when they do back this project, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, and thank you. Yeah, I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. But yeah, basically, in terms of the uh, what fans can get is obviously the book, and you have a 24-page story. It's a one shot, so it will be finished once you finish this book. Whether there will be more or not, we'll see.
Yeah.
And yes, other than the book, you have some other stuff like bookmarks, posters, uh, prints. So the usual stuff that use the amazing art from Gabriel and other artists that collaborated with me on this. Uh, yeah, we can see here the stretch goals, and one of the things that I kind of wanted to do was because, like you say, it's horror, but it also, and it's predominantly horror, but it has some fantasy elements. If you read the whole thing, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. So I kind of wanted to have, some D&D content, which I also play, and I find quite fun to homebrew content. So
That's
I
excellent.
thought, why not offer that as a stretch goal? So that's actually
Yeah.
our next stretch goal. And we are less than 100 pounds away from getting to that goal. So that's pretty
Excellent.
good.
Yeah. Can you give us a little bit of synopsis about Prey? Like, what can fans expect from Prey without giving away the story? Can you give us a little bit of what Prey is about?
Yeah. So at the end, no, I'm kidding. Not giving away the end. Yeah. So it starts in uh, like in a very eerie forest, like in a camp where you see a lot of blood, a lot of dead bodies. So very gory, faces kind of cut in half, that sort of stuff. And yeah, you start following Connor, which is the protagonist, as he tries to escape with a severed foot, tries to escape from the creature hunting him. Uh, and it's not just the hunting aspect and the escaping the creature. There's also a secondary arc that I'm not going to give away too much, but it has to do with um, yeah, it's maybe a little bit less in your face. It's maybe a little bit more vague about certainty in the future and that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think you have to read it uh, to get the full story and to see the two arcs kind of come together.
Yeah, and they come together very well, by
Thank
the
you.
way. So very good. That's why I asked you if I had to do a synopsis. I'd give way too much away, I think. So I'm glad that you did that and not me. So let's kind of walk through it. Like you said, it's a 24-page kind of horror fantasy. Um, and let's go through some of the previews so you can see some of the art. Maybe talk about your artist a little bit. That would be really neat to kind of get to know your artist.
Yeah, so Gabriel was someone that I found in one of the comic books on Facebook. And Prey, because I had planned this as a short film first, I had a very specific look for it. And I actually struggled to find an artist that had that style that I felt, yes, this is it. And honestly, I was kind of about to give up when I found Gabriel, and I was like, yes, yes, that's him. That's him. And I got in touch, and he said yes. And yeah, it's the amazing art you see here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
Mateus.
almost like a grayscale, although there are hints of color throughout it. So I really like that style. Grayscale, I think, is really hard to do. Either it's really good or it's not very good. But I love grayscale with hints of color, and I thought that came out really nice, Bruno. So that congratulations on that.
Yeah, the colorist is someone that I had worked with before in the sci-fi anthology, and I just asked Mateus if he wanted to do something weird, and he was in for it. And yeah, that's the result you see. It looks really amazing. Those guys did a brilliant job.
Yeah, yeah, yes, they did. And here's your main character.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then
So
here's the
as you see,
team. Oh, go ahead, please, Bruno.
no, I was going to say, as you see, very bloody. So
Yeah.
if that's your thing, it's not just that. It's not just gore, but if that's your thing.
Yeah. You're definitely gonna like that. So let's walk through. So here's some more interiors, like you said. Kind of a grayscale, but there is color in it. But I really like that style. I'm a big fan of grayscale when it's done right, and this one looks really good, really good. So congratulations. Like I said, there is color, but for the most part, I would say 70% of it is in grayscale with kind of highlights of color. Would you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There are some pages in full color, and there are some pages like this one that we're seeing right now that has a little bit more color. But yeah, essentially, it's mostly grayscale with red, some blue mainly, and it, it really comes out really nicely. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the result.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go over the covers. Covers are always a fan favorite. If you could kind of walk us through this first cover right here, who did it, and walk us through
Yes.
it a little bit. Yeah.
So this was Gabriel. So yeah, he did the main cover, he did the art. It's in the same style as the comic. So yeah, you look at the cover, and that's the style of the comic, which is it's yeah, it's not very common to have like a amazing art in the cover and still have the same style also in the interiors. So that yeah, that's great.
Very true.
Um, yeah, and it kind of gives away the full comic, I guess, just in one picture. Yeah,
Yeah.
giveaway is not the right word, but yeah.
And here's cover, I guess B, you would call it. Yep.
Yeah, it would be that's by Erwin, who also I work with in Cinematic Figments. He did one of the stories. I mean, you look at his style, and it's like it's amazing. This guy's amazing,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I definitely wanted the cover by him, and he did this that you
That's
can see.
beautiful. And then
And
how about here?
yeah, and the last one was by a Brazilian artist that I've been wanting to work with him for a while, and always never found the right excuse. And I thought, okay, let's at least do a cover now before we actually do something together. So yeah, Clovis did this cover, and it's yeah,
Really cool.
it's so good. Yeah, I love the
Very
glass
cool.
details.
Yeah.
The yeah.
Yeah. So did he do the art and the colors on this? He did everything?
Yes, for this one, yeah.
Wow.
So all the covers were done. So the artist who did the art did the colors as well for all
Wow.
each
This
of
one
the.
just seems like such a difficult one to do the coloring because of the glass to be able to get it right. And it looks cool. That's really cool.
I'm pretty sure he invested quite a lot of time in it
Yeah.
because he kept sending me versions of. At some point, he sent me a version that I was like, "Oh, this is great," and I thought it was done because it was so good that I thought it was done. And he actually had to tell me, "Oh, it's not done yet." What do you mean it's not done? This is beautiful. But yeah.
Excellent. And then let's walk through the team. So obviously there you are at the very top, Bruno. If you want to walk through your team that helped you put this together, I think that would be fun as well.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean, me, you already know. I'm here. Gabriel, yeah, we talked about him a little bit. He did the art, he did the interiors, did the main cover. Yeah, he's fantastic. Uh, Mateus, who did the coloring of the interiors, and then we have Rob, which if you read, I think I met him at a Comic Con, but I kind of already knew about him because he worked on a series called Kiltopia,
Okay.
which I'm big fan of. Uh, and I met him, I talked with him. So yeah, I asked him if he wanted to do the letters, and he said yes. So that's great.
Excellent.
Yeah. James. I'm probably butchering the names of all of these people, but yeah, because I've never actually heard them say their own
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. We had
yeah,
a couple design folks.
yeah. James and Matthias, I kind of yeah, they are also letters, but yeah, very good and helped me put the book together. Erwin did one of the covers, Clovis did the other, and Kat, she kind of came in as a consultant, and she really helped me with a lot of great advice, looking at the page, giving me some tips. So yeah, that's if you look at the Kickstarter page, definitely follow these people, and if you have work for them, hire them because they are amazing
Yeah,
and really
excellent.
great to work with.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we'll go ahead and add all of this information below on the video. That way people could follow you and the rest of the team. And let's go over some of the rewards. A lot of people like the rewards. So why don't you walk us through the rewards here?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to have a very simple reward that was, just a token uh, contribution, but also appreciation. And it has a story from Cinematic Figments. Strangely, people actually want the book. Well, not strangely, I think that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
So people tend to go more to the digital one shot or the digital deluxe
Yeah.
or the physical reward. So yeah, so that's the very basic Kickstarter thing is, yeah, you have the digital reward, you have the physical reward, and
Yeah.
that's basically it. The deluxe have a
Mhm.
little bit more. We have a variant. The double threat basically has both variants. And this is because we started having only two variant covers initially. Yeah, physical deluxe, same thing. It just comes with some bookmarks and some prints, posters. So yeah, you get a little bit extra something. Um, Double threat deluxe is kind of the same. We just get a little bit extra. And
Mhm.
the Omega pack, yeah, you basically get everything that was available when the campaign launched. So
Okay.
if you really want everything, yeah, you go for that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we had some script notes and retailer special that, yeah, just in case,
Hmm.
people wanted to get had their own comic and wanted to get um, some feedback, or retailers might want uh, some indie comics. Yeah, those were for them.
Excellent. And then some of your add-ons, which are right here. We got some smartphone wallpapers, which are always fun.
Yeah, I think it's an easy one to kind of just give like some really cool art to people to they look at their phone a lot, and
Yeah.
it's just there, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you got your physical add-ons. We got
Yeah, this is one that I'm really happy with, because I don't think I've ever seen anyone in a Kickstarter have a door hanger.
yeah.
And I saw this and I thought, yeah, I think this would be cool. So yeah, this is a Kickstarter exclusive. If you don't get
Yeah.
it now, you won't get it.
Yeah. You got our
Uh,
bookmarks.
yeah, some bookmarks, some prints, and some posters. So the usual.
Yeah. What a
And
cool poster this would be.
yeah, and this came a little bit later. So if you do want it, make sure to add it as an add-on, because it's not in any of the tiers.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, it's an amazing poster. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got some of our stretch goals, which it looks like a couple have been unlocked.
Yeah, I mean, don't laugh about the drawing. I could have had one of the artists do a proper drawing, but I don't know. I thought that it was more fun.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so a reverse hangman sort of
Yeah.
thing.
I love it. The
Um,
only problem is he has a leg. You need to have a missing leg, right?
well, he has what? Sorry.
He has both of his legs
Oh
in your
yeah,
comic book. In your
I did
comic
not
book,
think about
there's
that.
a missing leg. Yeah.
I did not think about that. That's a good one. Yeah.
But it looks like the door hanger's been unlocked and the artwork, the new artwork freebies have been unlocked, right, so far?
Yeah, so everyone who has like a physical reward is going to get like that very cool artwork that you like with the eye, with a print that will be for free for everyone who has it, and everyone who has the door hanger will basically have an upgrade with better paper and the larger size, and it looks a lot better in the larger size
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, for sure. And so the next goal, which you're very close to, would be the free D&D content, correct?
Yes, and I kind of had like a bonus challenge that was timed, but
Mm.
one thing that I kind of did a couple of days ago was to say, you know what, if we unlock that one, we actually get both.
Oh, okay.
So I probably should have updated this, but yeah, you unlock that one, you get the behind the scenes content as well, because
Oh,
I realize
excellent.
some people might not be into D&D,
Yeah.
and it's good to have something that, fits everyone, I
Yeah.
guess. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, very good. It looks like as far as the Kickstarter though, your goal is 311, you're at 812, which is excellent. Congratulations for that. This is always the most important is the backers, right? Once you start to get backers and they love your work, hopefully you're getting those 46 back every time you do, and then you're just growing upon that. So congratulations. Like I said, 29 hours ago, we want to make sure people get this in their hands immediately. That way they can head over to the Kickstarter and look at it for themselves. But the comic was a lot of fun, Bruno. I really enjoyed it. Congratulations on everything. Is there anything else that we're leaving out, Bruno, that you would like to talk about with Prey, or maybe anything upcoming? I assume this isn't the only thing that you're going to do creatively. Once you do this, it's, you don't stop, right? It's a little bit of a drug. You want to jump right into the next story, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we do have other projects. So this is the first one, but uh, I guess when you're starting out, is that thing of getting something finished, and it takes forever. But I am lucky enough that it took forever, and when something got finished, I got three projects nearly finished. So I have two other projects almost ready to go. So they will come after that.
Well, excellent, Bruno. I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that you at
Thank you.
least made your goal. But as everyone knows on Kickstarter, surpassing that goal is so crucial because normally your goal doesn't cover the cost of the comic book. It
No.
just doesn't, not even close, right? And if you can surpass even covering the comic book, that just helps you bring that next comic book a lot faster. So everybody get over there. This is not a handout. This is you're purchasing a really good comic book on Kickstarter. So everybody that's listening, please run over to Kickstarter, look up Prey from Bruno. I'll make sure that I post everything below. That way we make it very easy for people to get to your Kickstarter. But Bruno, congratulations. Super happy for you. Is there anything else that we're leaving out?
Uh, no, I mean just to follow your to follow you and subscribe as well, because yeah, this is great. And thank you so much for this.
Yeah, absolutely, Bruno. Anytime, my friend. Can't wait to see your next project, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for making some time today. I know we kind of threw it together at the last minute, but I think it worked out perfect, and I'm very happy to have you on the show. And I wish you the very best, my friend.
Thank you so much, and yeah, great talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. You have a great rest of your week, my friend.
See you. Bye.
All right.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.